There we go.
A Furion.
So I think this is
Navi.
this is a must ban. I don't think they should worry that much about the Tidehunter. I don't even like. It's like a close third, I'd say, almost fourth in the current meta in terms of what strong offlane heroes there are, and I think Nature's Prophet and Beastmaster are by far the two best ones. So, not surprising that they opt to go for the Nature's Prophet ban rather than the Tidehunter this time around. Secret immediately coming with the Wisp ban again, knowing that it's basically Navi's best card.
I'm interested to see if Secrets find it need. Okay, yeah, they'll actually take out General's Batrider because the Earth Spirit's obviously still in the pool.
It's an identical ban to last time around. There's no need to change it up because it was successful. So it's sort of like what Poppy's always done. If it's successful, why change it?
And again, that's really what I want to see Navi be able to pull out, is something like the Batrider from that off-lane position, or even from the mid and safe lane position, where you're able to pull out a kind of 20-minute aggression instead of having more of these heroes that are statically farming at that point in time.
Again, it traces back to whether or not the hero pool is deep enough. Right. I haven't seen General play much else than the Batrider and the Faceless Void. Granted, we haven't seen the Navi play as many games as a lot of these other teams because they are basically all major teams except Navi.
First pick Enchantress is an interesting one, though. I mean, I feel like this is a hero that, yeah, maybe just because of art style, but Enchantress first pick does not feel particularly strong to me.
Maybe a few months ago. In the present meta, I completely agree with you. But there is something to be said for sticking to your guns and playing within your comfort zone. We heard Swindlemelons speak about this early on the panel as well, how when they played up against EG, for instance, at Shanghai, he said they didn't actually pick something they were too comfortable playing. We saw the same thing with eHome, where they had CGY play a Darkseer that he really didn't seem comfortable. It was like he was playing an entirely different game, right? He was playing League of Legends, everyone else was playing Dota 2. And this is probably one of the reasons Navi drafts the way they do. They need something they have practiced, something they're comfortable playing.
And that is why we have Jacob on the desk. A sound bit of analysis that truly only him could pull out.
Traces back to League of Legends.
Windranger at your service.
I don't even play the game. Doombringer, Windranger from Secret.
You want comfort right now.
Yeah, exactly. So the Windranger is just, I mean, they could have gone for Invoker by all means, but I like to see the Windranger as well. Yeah. Add some diversity to their picks as well. Probably a smart choice to pick it up right now instead of having it banned out in this second phase the way we saw.
I mean, let's not also forget these may be comfort picks for Team Secret, but those are also two comfort picks that address Enchantress wonderfully. You have Doom being able to disable that Untouchable. You have Windranger who doesn't care about Untouchable.
I just love seeing Weehab being put on a hero which he can really excel at and you can showcase his abilities on. And Windranger is exactly that. That's kind of like why I kind of shed a tear when you see Dandy playing OD or Viper. Well, I agree with you, like his OD really held him in the game before. It doesn't let him dictate the pace of the game. He has to rely on his teammates a little bit too much.
Again, I hate to bring it up too often, but this again traces back to something we talked to both Complexity and MVP about. The lack of practice against top teams. When they suddenly started playing against these top teams at various tournaments, be it Star Ladder, the majors and so forth, they started recognizing how they needed to draft, how they needed to develop the draft throughout tournaments, throughout time, and always be on the forefront of drafting. It seems to me that Navi doesn't have that same experience going up against the top teams right now, so they are sort of lagging behind in the understanding of the meta, and they still pick stuff that only worked a month or two ago. Yeah, you see this Enchantress, the Faceless Void, great picks by all means a few months ago, but nowadays these are just not first pick material.
They take away the Pylite Die Lion as well as the Misery Tidehunter. Tidehunter usually a pretty appropriate response to Faceless Void. I feel like I like both of these bans, but
yeah, so the trade-off from picking the Windranger is obviously that you're gonna lose the Lion pick. Definitely some good bans coming out from Navi.
You would be taking both your supports in the first one too. We've heard the way that I believe Swindle was talking about trying to go from support core back and forth.
Yeah, and the thing is, I still think Misery plays a decent Beastmaster, so if they even want that, but I don't think they're too worried about Navi banning out offlane heroes, unless they committed full out to it, and they didn't already from the Enigma ban. There's a Darkseer as well, something that's been very popular throughout the tournament already.
What other primary cores are really left here for Team Secret? Like, is it worthwhile Team Secret even going into the jungle with, well, any of their heroes? We saw...
They have
you got a Doombringer, right? So,
10 seconds.
what's your lane support then?
What happened to OD, though? I mean, Team Secret just banned away the Death Prophet and the Gyrocopter. Do you actually value those two heroes? Or rather, do you fear those two heroes more in conjunction with a Faceless Void
exactly.
rather than an OD?
It's the response to the Faceless Void.
Yeah.
Pure and simple.
But OD works just as well with Faceless Void.
It works well. It doesn't have the same kind of range, bar the ultimate obviously, but it's gonna get the ultimate off regardless. For Gyrocopter and Death Prophet, it synergizes even better with the Chronosphere than OD. And OD just comes in a close third, right? Like many other ranged heroes. So I think this is what was probably what they didn't expect, an Invoker pickup. Because there's another hero that, you know, by all means synergizes well with Chronosphere, assuming you don't deafening blast them out of it.
Going to rely on him being Exort in this game too. Like, is it worthwhile him going Quas Wex, or does he have to go into the Quas Exort in this game?
I think it's definitely an Exort game.
Reserve time.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Quas Wex though. It's always interesting. It sort of opens up the map very early on. Instead of having the traditional farming playstyle where you get the Midas, you just rush that early Orchids and you get the Ghost Walk and you chase around for targets.
But they don't really have targets on the field.
Yeah, they don't really have the lineup to back it up so far. And there's the Beastmaster for Misery.
Turn to pick.
Yeah, they got such great control, such great laning. And Team Secret doesn't even matter, like, where they want to go. Like, Doombringer starts rotations or does whatever the hell he wants to do. Both Crystal Maiden and Doombringer are fantastic against Enchantress, and the Lycan will be the pickup from Navi.
So, assuming this is an Exort Invoker, you actually have a sort of a concealed push strat coming out from them, where there is, well, Power Shot and Axes are decent against push. But, first of all, Axes aren't going to be leveled until very late.
You definitely need a very strong laning phase supports for Navi at this point in time. You can't afford to let this Beastmaster get out of control. That's going to be, I think, right next to the Wind Ranger is your kind of tempo controllers that prevent Navi from being able to reach that push state.
If you ward off the creep camp on his side of things, and he's pretty easy to keep out of the lane then.
Reserve time.
Like, you already have the Enchantress in the jungle, assuming that he's just staying in his own forest. And then whatever support they pick, as long as it's ranged, they should be able to deal with the Beastmaster, especially if it has any sort of slowdown or disable, which most of them have these days.
The new Lycan Wolves are particularly harassive against some of these offlaners. It might be an appropriate response to the boar harassment.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways they can go with this. A hero that's fallen out of favor is the Witch Doctor. I don't think it's particularly good against anything that Secret has. They would probably rather prefer having something with even longer and more reliable disable. Especially up against a hero like the Wind Ranger.
Team Secret, meanwhile, we still need a carry. What is left, though?
There's everything that Envy likes to play. There's Slark, Spectra, Ember Spirit.
Ember was, yeah,
I don't think
kind of the one that
the
came to mind.
Well, he might bait out a few Chronospheres, which might be cute. Add a lot of momentum.
It's a hero that doesn't particularly, again, care about Enchantress is untouchable, decent against push stat, but instead it's going to be the Slark, Slippery Fish. And instantly,
casual 10th pick Earthbird.
Alright, I'm not sure how that came out. Real quickly, guys, your predictions?
Secret.
It's got to be Secret. Even without the draft, it's got to be Secret.
Alright, Secret is all the way on board. Of course, if you guys want to be able to check out stats, news, anything you possibly need, of course, the Score Esports has it all. Be sure to check out the app on the Google Play Store as well as the iOS Store. Find it all over there. Get into our game number 2 now between Navi and Team Secret, Durka and Blitz.
Thanks, guys. I cannot wait for this. Game number 2, Navi against Team Secret, and look at what hero Dendi has. The pianist himself on his stick knife Invoker, Blitz. What are you expecting between these two teams?
It's been a really long time since I've seen a Dendi Invoker, in all honesty. And I remember the first time I ever played against Dendi mid, it was his Invoker, and I thought it was the scariest thing in the world. You can ask